As requested by some of our viewers, we'll be taking a closer look at the fleet of KLM Royal Dutch Airlines for today's video. The carrier is one of the two large members of the Air France KLM group along with Air France. Transavia is also in this group but makes up a much smaller proportion of operations. A fair bit has changed since our last examination of the KLM fleet, and it looks like more changes are on the horizon. So let's take a look at the collection of aircraft operated by the Dutch carrier. At a glance, KLM operates 120 passenger aircraft. Types and quantities are as follows with data from planespotters.net. 10 A321neos, 6 A330-200s, 5 A330-300s, 6 737-700s, 31 737-800s, 5 737-900s, 15 777-200ERs, 16 777-300ERs, 13 787-9s, and finally 13 787-10s. And so, what has changed since our last KLM fleet video in April 2022? Well, back then the carrier did not operate the A321neo, and so its fleet of 10 are all fairly new. CHAviation.com notes that there are still 6 of these narrowbodies still to be delivered, although planespotters.net says 7 airframes are due at the carrier, providing registration numbers for each future jet. KLM's fleet of 11 A330s remains exactly the same, albeit 3.5 years older at this point. The airline has 4 fewer 737-700s but maintains the same quantity of 737-800s and -900s. KLM has been slowly retiring its 737-700 fleet since 2019 and retired 2 in October 2022, 1 the following month and another the month after that. All of KLM's retired -700s actually continue to fly, unlike Southwest's retired -700s. For the ex-KLM airframes, notable operators include Luxair and Virgin Australia. When it comes to Boeing widebodies, KLM still operates all 31 777s. Its 787-9 fleet remains unchanged, while the carrier has added 9 more 787-10s over the past few years. Back in early 2022, the carrier only had 5 of these stretched Dreamliners. As we noted in that previous fleet video, there were 2 main factors preventing KLM from taking new 787-10s. First was the pandemic. The second factor was Boeing's issues with its ability to deliver new 787s. The US plane maker suspended deliveries in mid-October 2020 as it had been working out production issues with the FAA. There was a brief resumption in deliveries from April to June 2021, but things went quiet again after that. KLM received 2 787-10s in late 2022, 3 in 2023, 1 in 2024, and at the time of making this video has taken delivery of 3 in 2025. In the last few years, KLM had been steadily adding premium economy seats to many of its widebody planes. The airline announced in late 2024 that all of its Boeing 787s and 777 aircraft were finally equipped with what it calls the Premium Comfort class. The maintenance division of KLM completed the conversion of the 787 fleet in 2023, but the Boeing 777 refit was completed more recently. In an official statement, KLM's Chief Experience Officer, Barry Tevoort, commented at the time, "Over the past 2 years, colleagues have worked very hard to make the addition of this new class possible. Passengers now have an extra option when booking a ticket, in addition to World Business Class and Economy Class. The first feedback from our passengers has been very positive. Passengers specifically mentioned having more comfort and tastier meals. That exactly matches our intentions." In addition to the presence of a premium economy cabin, KLM replaced the seats in their World Business Class product and added a sliding door for more comfort and privacy. It also announced that all passengers in World Business Class would have direct aisle access. Moving on, KLM should see its first A350 next year, a type that was originally supposed to be at the airline much earlier. Way back in 2019, we reported that Air France and KLM were trading their existing and ordered airplanes. Air France would receive all of KLM's A350 orders, while its remaining 787 orders would be sent to KLM. The move has prevented/delayed KLM's adoption of the A350, but the airline group has changed its mind in recent years. In September 2023, Air France-KLM Group announced it would order 50 Airbus A350s with options for 40 more. Some of the A350s from this massive order are destined for KLM. The most recent development came in August 2025 as Airbus order data revealed that Air France-KLM would be changing most of its Airbus A350-1000 orders to the smaller A350-900. Where the airline group had initially intended to acquire 39-900s and 11-1000s, the revised balance saw 8-1000s swapped for -900s. Per a September 2023 press release from KLM, the carrier expects to begin deploying the Airbus A350 on intercontinental flights from 2026, replacing its Boeing 777-200ERs, Airbus A330-200s, and Airbus A330-300s. This will probably give loyal KLM travellers some mixed feelings. On one hand, most people enjoy stepping on board brand new modern widebodies like the A350. On the other hand, passengers will lose the A330's beloved economy class layout of 242, replaced by the A350's 333. As for KLM's existing fleet, things have mostly been trouble-free, although we did see issues with the carrier's 787s earlier this year. In May 2025, it was reported that the airline was facing reliability issues due to inappropriate maintenance procedures, although the specific nature of this issue had nothing to do with the manufacturer, but rather the complexities involved with the aircraft's maintenance regime. Indeed, it was discovered that maintenance procedures for a refueling system were followed improperly. As a result of these complexities, KLM decided to ground 7 of its 787s. The airline was then forced to cancel multiple long-haul services, which resulted in hundreds of passengers being subjected to travel delays. In a statement, the carrier said, "Although there is no safety risk, the 7 aircraft will remain grounded and undergo expedited maintenance." The Dutch carrier confirmed 3 different intercontinental services were cancelled as a result of the matter, and more than 600 customers were affected as a result. But again, we have to reiterate that this was to do with airline maintenance procedures rather than manufacturing issues. The one other notable incident taking place in the past year involving a KLM aircraft was when one of the airline's 737-800s was forced to make an emergency landing on December 28, 2024. Upon landing, the aircraft veered off the runway due to hydraulic failure. Operating short-haul flight KL-1204 from Oslo Gardermoen Airport to Amsterdam Schiphol, the 737's flight crew decided to make an emergency landing diverting to Torp Sandefjord Airport. The diversion was executed following a hard noise heard by the pilots. Upon landing, the aircraft veered off the runway and made a complete stop in the grass. No injuries were reported in connection with the landing. So that's it for our 2025 KLM Fleet Deep Dive. The carrier now operates the A321neo and its Boeing widebodies now have premium economy. Next year should see the first A350 delivery. What do you think of the KLM fleet? Let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.